Welcome into the Cowboys Report. Thank you all so much for clicking on this video. If you aren't already subscribed, well, no one will keep you more updated on whatever training camp looks like this year, and of course during the season, than we will here at the Cowboys Report. So if you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe. And coming up right now, some news and rumors around the Dallas Cowboys. Training camp this year is going to look very different than what it normally does for all NFL teams. That includes the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the first-year players, rookies, of course, they're beginning to report today, although they're not going to practice simulate. It's very different. So what's happening this year, NFLPA agreed, no preseason games, and before players can practice and even enter the facility, they need 2 negative tests. So those first-year players, they are reporting today. The earliest they're going to be able to actually access the Cowboys facility at the Star isn't going to be until July 25th. That means for veterans who don't report for a few more days, earliest they're going to get in is August 1st. By the time pads come on, because there's going to be some ramp-up scheduling and conditioning, you're going to be in mid to late August by that point. So it's going to be a very different ramp-up process. It's going to be very different. And that does negatively impact the Cowboys because, well, there hasn't been much interaction with a new coaching staff for these players. That's going to be a negative for Dallas. I would fully anticipate some sloppy play across the board early in the season. Now, some of those first-year players, the draft class, they've signed. Reggie Robinson, the corner, Bradlee, Anae, Ben DiNucci as well. Don't panic that Diggs and Lamb and the rest of the guys haven't signed yet. That's going to come in the very near future. They'll get those deals done. It's not going to be a big issue for Dallas whatsoever. Now, camp looks different because, well, COVID-19 is still a big issue for America. So do your part if you want football this year, which I think everyone watching does. Just wear a mask. You can wear a cool-looking one here from our friends over at Fanatics, rocking the Cowboys in the process. It's chatsports.com/Cowboys mask. They've got from individual packs to 4-packs as well, a whole bunch of different styles. And the bigger pack you buy, the more you save. That link will be in the comments and in the description. It's chatsports.com/Cowboys mask. Over now to some rumors around the Dallas Cowboys. Could DeMarcus Lawrence be opting out and not playing this year? 2 stars. And Lawrence's comments to me read more like someone who just isn't sure yet because he doesn't know what the plan is. He is considering it, but the full exact plan of what happens if a player tests positive in the season, all of that, yeah, the camp stuff's good to go for the most part, but not everything else is. And Lawrence is also dealing with this. His wife is pregnant and is due in October. And although Tank missed the birth of his son back in 2014 because he had rookie camp, he's not doing that again. Here's what Tank had to say. I'm taking it one day at a time, talking with my team and trying to figure out as many details as possible before I make a decision and have it set in stone. Shoot, I love to ride with my brothers and play the game of football. When I have to take that away from myself, it's hard. I don't want to make a decision like that. But I also have to make sure I'm taking care of my family. Family is number one. After the game of football is done, that's the only thing I have to depend on, so I've got to take care of them. My number one concern is, will I be able to see my family and be there for my daughter's birth? If I can't be, we're going to really have to take some major difficult considerations about this season because I'm not missing the birth of another child. Now, make no mistake about it. I don't just want Tank Lawrence out there. I need DeMarcus Lawrence out there. The rest of the pass rush is not great. But I do understand where Tank is coming from. It is completely reasonable. And my expectation is that the NFL and the Cowboys and Tank and everyone will figure out a path that it makes sense for Tank to still play this year because the Cowboys want him out there on the roster. Of course, they need him out there. And also still make sure Lawrence is able to take care of his family and able to be there for the birth of his daughter. Now, would you be upset if Tank opted out? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's video, so scroll on down there and cast your votes. Let's go now to Jadeveon Clowney, signing him, well, 1 star here. Now, if Tank opts out, I would consider bumping this up to 2 because, in theory, Tank doesn't play. He's not going to have the same cap impact. Maybe the base salary is dropped. Maybe the contract tolls. That's still yet to be figured out. But in terms of the money going to DeMarcus Lawrence, how it impacts the cap, no way it would be the same. The problem is for the Cowboys, well, they're not interested in Clowney right now at the current cost, which I still think is above $10 million. But if you don't have DeMarcus Lawrence out there, whoo boy, guys, this is not good. You need a Clowney or a Griffin or somebody else because a pass rush rotation of Tyrone Crawford, Alden Smith, Dorrance Armstrong, God knows what's going to happen with Randy Gregory, Bradlee and Joe Jackson. That's bad. And your corners are not great either. So it's still 1 star right now. But if something changes with DeMarcus Lawrence or if Clowney substantially drops his price, I would consider bumping it up to 2. But right now, just not in the Cowboys' plans. But I do want to hear what you guys would do. Let's say, of course, hypothetically speaking, that the offer to Clowney would be around 1 year, $13 million, and then Clowney would accept that. Would you do it? Type S for yes, you'd sign him, or P for no, you would rather pass. Let's look ahead to the future now for the Cowboys. Does it look bright? I'm inclined to say yes, with one very big but. 3 stars on this one. Now, ESPN put out their future power rankings, and that reminder, only based on the next 3 years. That's short-term future in reality here. They had Dallas at number 5 on that list. A big-time jump from last year, and a big reason why was, well, because of Dak Prescott. Now, here are the top 5. Ravens, Chiefs, kind of surprised Ravens over Chiefs. Honestly, drafting was a big reason why there. Niners at 3, Saints at 4, and the Cowboys, by as close a margin as possible in this poll, just barely edged out the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, here's how ESPN scored this. 30% of their formula, of their ratings, went into the overall roster. 20% was quarterback. 20% was coaching. 15% was drafting. And 15% was the front office. Here's where the Cowboys ranked on that. 7th overall in terms of the roster. 5th at quarterback, which carries a huge asterisk because Dak isn't under contract after this year. Maybe they tag him. He's going to be expensive. It's kind of a big but for me. Coaching was 15th. Okay, new staff. I can get that. Drafting was actually first. That might surprise you guys. Front office checked in at 13th. Now, I take a pretty big grain of salt with these rankings because they're all over the map if you look at the historical aspect of it. Last year, they were 14th. It's kind of wild to me that the Cowboys lost 2 more games and went from 14th up to 5th, but there you go. I think it's fair-ish because Dak was better, and that was a huge factor in the overall rankings. 17th, 6th, 26th before Dak emerged. 6th again in 2015. Just kind of crazy, right? So, yes, I do feel pretty confident about the Cowboys' future. But if Dak wasn't on this roster, I promise you the Cowboys would rank substantially lower than what they do. But, of course, the goal of any long-term hope is to win a damn Super Bowl for the first time in a very, 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 very long time. So with Mike McCarthy now the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, how many Super Bowls will they win with McCarthy at the helm? Can I just get 1? I would love it. 1 would be a successful hire and one of the best hires in Cowboys, especially recent history. So let me know what you guys think. I just want the 1. All I'm asking for, which I know it is a lot. Let's talk receivers now here. Do the Cowboys have the NFL's number 1 wide receiver unit? You're damn right they do. Now, that's something I said immediately after the drafting of CeeDee Lamb in round 1 of the 2020 NFL draft. But guess what? Pro Football Focus, they agree. Because you got Amari Cooper, you've got Michael Gallup, and you've got CeeDee Lamb. And yes, the depth does concern me. But then you remember, look around the rest of the NFL, and you might find teams with great depth, or you might find teams with a good 1-2 punch or a good top 3. But no team has all of those. So the elite trio definitely carries the most weight. But even the depth for other NFL teams, it's not great. So Tampa came in at number 2. I think the best 1-2 punch at receiver, but 3 through 6 or whatever, not great. Falcons have Julio and Calvin Ridley. Not much behind those guys. The same is true of the Saints with Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. The Bills actually are fairly deep, especially getting Stephon Diggs. I'm surprised the Cardinals didn't crack the top 5. But with the best trio in the NFL, the depth isn't as important. So I say yes. I say yes, the Cowboys have the number 1 receiving core in the NFL. But let me know what you guys think. If you agree, well, type in 1. If you disagree, go type in 2. Speaking of CeeDee Lamb, a big reason why the Cowboys were number 1 at receiver, could he be getting some carries this year? I think it's possible. I think it actually is, if not probable, because you lose Tavon Austin, you lose Randall Cobb. Those guys did have carries last year. Now, I'm not going to pretend that CeeDee Lamb is suddenly going to get like a carry a game. He might get like a carry every other week or every third week. But the Cowboys did use Randall Cobb and Tavon Austin in jet sweeps last year. That play is still going to be in the playbook. And yes, you could use Tony Pollard there, and I'd be okay with that. But also, I would rather create touches for CeeDee Lamb than I would Pollard. And I like Tony Pollard, but CeeDee Lamb is as dynamic as they come after the catch. He's great at breaking tackles and making guys miss, and I want to get him the ball in space. And if he has issues with press early on, jet sweeps, simple plays like that, it's an effective path. So, yeah, I think you'll see Lamb play inside, outside, and even get some jet sweep action. This one. All right, Rondell Carter. Wait, who? Yeah, undrafted rookie out of James Madison. Is he the answer at defensive end? I can't disprove this yet, so I have to give it 1 star. But we round up here at the Cowboys Report, and this is like 0.0005 of a star. I get it. The Cowboys' track record of undrafted free agents, it's damn good. And they like Rondell Carter because they gave him top 5 guaranteed money among UDFAs across the NFL this year. $145K, which actually isn't all that much. But this is some wild and off-the-charts expectations for a dude that no one had heard of before the draft, even especially among Cowboys fans, unless you are big James Madison guys out there. And an undrafted free agent who the Cowboys drafted a player at the same position this year. Why would you hype up Rondell Carter over Bradlee and Anae? I know that Carter's numbers are awesome. I'm going to plead James Madison FCS here again. The Boise State pipeline, it's done. It's now the James Madison pipeline, by the way. So can Rondell Carter be a piece long term? Sure, it's possible. Am I expecting Rondell Carter to even make the team? No, I'm not. If he does, awesome. That's a great addition for the Dallas Cowboys. But to think he's the future at defensive end opposite DeMarcus Lawrence, this just screams of hype for hype's sake. We're going to barely see him in camp and in the preseason. I think this is kind of ridiculous. So technically it is 1 star, but I would much rather hype up Bradlee and Anae over Rondell Carter any day of the week and twice on Sundays. Reminder, folks, these Cowboys face masks are on sale. Head over to chatsports.com/CowboysMask. They've got some awesome team face masks out there from 1-packs to 4-packs. The more you buy, the more you will end up saving. That link, once again, it is in the comments and it's in the description. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.